Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and oh boy, you guys want to talk about a time Microsoft destroyed a company that called themselves Lindows? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today's story is a story of how human beings never learn from their mistakes and hubris. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about one man in particular. Now, this guy is Michael Robertson. Now, if you don't know who Michael Robertson is, don't be surprised, because this is a story that takes us all the way back to the year 2000, maybe even 2001. And obviously, I'm sure some of you watching the video were probably not even sperms at that point, okay? So to understand, Michael Robertson is an American businessman who was the former CEO of two companies in particular. One known as MP3.com, and the other one, well, Lindows. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to start off with, this guy started a website known as mp3.com. Now, this is back what the old internet used to look like. My.mp3.com was people's personal online jukebox. It was a site where you could browse free music, okay? Free music in the sense that you could listen to your metal songs, your urban R&B. You wanted to listen to some comedy, some satire? Ladies and gentlemen, you got it right here. Now, of course, you could add CDs at this moment in time, but of course, that wasn't something that was the smartest idea that they ever had. So to understand, looking into their actual website, they also had a referral program as well, too, where mp3.com will pay you $1 for each new account you refer to us through our Bucks to Beam It promotion. So again, this was another problem that they also had, but of course, they ended up getting sued not by one company, but by the entire music industry. So back in 2000, all right, the first month, 31st of that year, the turn of the millennium, really, record industry wants to take away your music. Universal, Sony, Warner Brothers, Arista, Atlantic, BMG, RCA, Capitol, Elektra, Interscope, and Sire against mp3.com. So imagine, getting sued by one of these is already a death knell. Getting sued by all of them at the same damn time? Just surviving a lawsuit like this proves that the Lord is alive and trustworthy being, if you will, because they clearly were on your side if you managed to survive in this situation. Now, of course, when it came to mp3.com, mp3.com was actually quite a success, which is the reason why it was actually a target of these mega massive lawsuits. So again, you're looking into the history, virtually every record label actually ended up suing them. And of course, for most of these lawsuits, they actually ended up settling them for the most part. It was actually only one company, one small independent recording studio known as UMG, that decided we're going to take this all the way to court. So to not be a lawyer and to go over the case docket right over here, again, sources if you want to go through. The reason I use Wikipedia and stuff is because sometimes accessing some of these docket numbers is inaccessible, and sometimes it does source to websites which you can dig up on the Wayback Machine as proper actual sources. But again, just to give you a quick layman understanding, to use the service, the mymp3.com subscriber had to confirm that they legitimately purchased the CD by putting it into your computer CD drive while logged into their website, thus allowing a purchase code to be recorded by the service. A subscriber could also purchase a CD from one of the defendants' cooperating online retailers. Despite this process, the record companies argued that mp3.com had made few efforts to ensure that the music that was being uploaded was actually legitimately purchased in CD form. There were few checks and balances done, and people were just sharing their songs around without checking. Remember, this is really kind of before even the era of Kazaa, LimeWire even. This is around the time when a lot of these music sharing MP3 services were slowly starting to form and create before the torrenting world that we have today. Nowadays, listening to music is pretty simple. You fire up something like Spotify or YouTube Music, and you might pay a small little subscription fee. You can listen to whatever you want wherever you're at. But back in the day, it really was downloading a few megabytes worth of MP3 files and storing them on actual iPods and instruments that we had. Times were a lot different back in the day. So again, when it came down to it, 11 different record companies, with UMG serving as a lead plaintiff, sued mp3.com for failing to secure permission for copies of songs that were created automatically when users uploaded ripped songs to their servers. MP3 argued that the owner of compact discs were entitled to make copies of copyrighted songs that they purchased legitimately, as like a backup archival situation. Now, at the end of the day, this ended up being a case that UMG won and not MP3, and it was the opinion of the the court that the complex marvels of cyberspatial communications create legal serious issues, which again is true. The internet was a massive change to the world, right, and how we distributed content. But they said that in this situation, stripped to its essence, defendants' consumer protection argument amounts to nothing more than a bald claim that defendants should be able to misappropriate plaintiff's property simply because there is a consumer demand for it. This hardly appeals to the conscience of equity. And again, ultimately what ended up happening was they were ordered to pay $250 million, as much to UMG. They ended up paying $53.4 million to settle that claim. And of course, even beyond all of it, the action was ultimately resolved where the defendants continued to deny all liability, paid into an escrow account $35 million, and also 2.5 million shares were valued at $5.3 million at the time, also went towards this. So again, complete dismissals, release of all claims with prejudice. So again, at the end of the day, MP3 was even acquired for $385 million by Vivendi, which at the time gave Michael Robertson, our protagonist, $103 million. So again, this is a situation where he kind of jumped into a bear trap, got his leg chewed, but had divine intervention kick in and managed to completely survive. So why did I start this video off with a lesson on this? Well, you would think after all of this ordeal, someone would learn their lesson and just sail off into the sunset. But Michael is just built fucking differently, because Michael decided, I'm going to start a whole new goddamn company. I'm going to start Lindows.com Incorporated. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Lindows, which is a play on Windows, but the gimmick here is that it runs Windows stuff, but it's really just a Linux operating system. Yeah, they ended up actually selling this in stores at Wally World, Walmart, for crying out loud. So back in the day, when you wanted to buy operating systems like Windows, and really only Windows, you actually had to go to the store and buy a physical copy, which came with, again, the 25-character CD key, and you installed it in your computer. Nowadays, you just download the ISO file from Microsoft or wherever your vendor is, burn it to a USB or even a disk if you feel so, and just install it right there. But back in the day, you could find these things on a shelf. Now, Windows was everywhere, but Linux was kind of nowhere. So these guys did a cool thing by actually distributing this stuff in the storefront. The problem was they kind of aped Microsoft's branding, and Microsoft wasn't exactly too kind about it, to the point where Microsoft ends up suing them in multiple countries: the US, Canada, France, Belgium, Sweden, and so on and so forth. And the problem is, getting sued by Microsoft is like trying to fight Muhammad Ali as a drunk lab mouse, because you're not going to be able to win a legal fight against one of the largest growing tech companies in the country, especially on their home turf right there. So what Microsoft did was they sued them because they said that Lindows was constituting an infringement of their trademark. And while Microsoft was initially rejected in the court because, again, they said Windows was kind of their trademark, and people were wondering, could you even trademark Windows in that situation? A surprising case of company L's in this situation, ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft actually took a fat L and ended up paying $20 million to settle with the Lindows Corporation. By them giving over their trademark and changing their legal names, they received $20 million, and Microsoft is avoided a potential lawsuit where they could possibly have the Windows trademark become a generic trademark, which is not something that Microsoft could have wanted. So to avoid a super capital level nuclear L, they take a smaller L in court, and this whole situation basically gets thrown under the rug, showing that, again, this guy, the company, the CEO behind this, is intelligent enough, or lucky, to survive monumental legal battles and still come out of it on top. Now, if you go back to Lindows right over here, ladies and gentlemen, Lindows, apparently, this is a web archive from during their lawsuit in 2004 right here, or around that time. Visitors from Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg are not permitted to access the website or purchase our products. So again, if you go to their website, this is Lindows OS, and they were advertising technologies that they exclusively had, like Click and Run, which was basically just the wine wrapper that was used to launch Windows applications that, again, they were basically selling, right? So again, they had Lindows OS, and again, you could buy this as well too. So of course, if you bought it right now, you could purchase it to install on your computer, or you could buy computers with it pre-installed. And I thought ultimately this was kind of cool because, ladies and gentlemen, Linux doesn't really have a lot of sellers, especially back in the day, like bundled with the system. So these guys were kind of the canary in the coal mine, so to speak. You can even see it. Lindows is not endorsed or affiliated with Microsoft. In fact, we don't even really like them because they are suing us. Jesus Christ, dude. And yeah, if you wanted to buy it, the actual operating system was, again, a fraction of Microsoft's OS. $49.95, right? Like that's what you were paying for Lindows OS with laptop features. Hell, they even gave you the Espanol pack, and of course, Windows Live. And of course, they also gave a 1-year membership to that Click and Run warehouse, which, if I didn't mention, was a subscription service, as shitty as that can sound. Now, when it came to the Click and Run, they actually had a few different pieces of software that, again, you could just install and run. Software that would be available on Microsoft Windows, okay? So at the time, you had things like Real Player. You also had, I believe, Acrobat Reader was still an exclusive. And of course, to look at their games section, I kind of want to see what their games look like too. You could buy Quake 2 or install that inside the Click and Run system. So basically, they made an online store to install Windows applications or, guide the system in the Click and Run, wine translation layer that they had. And one of the things that really shocked me was you would think, man, this must be a relic of old internet. Dog, they are still selling this in the year 2023. You can buy Linspire 14. They have to change the name, of course. And this sells, again, for $29.99, one license. If you want support, it's $60. It's actually fucking insane that they're selling Linux, like an open source version of this operating system that really doesn't have a whole lot of stuff added to it. Now, there is a free version they have called FreeSpire 10, which you can download if you want to experience the free version of this. We'll look at this later. But again, one of the things that I wanted to jump into was also the community was not entirely enthralled by their, attempt at selling what is effectively free and open source software, right? So thank the Lord above, the Internet Archive actually has a backup of this dog shit sitting around. So uploaded in 2021, this is what it looked like on store shelves, boys. So you saw Lindows OS 4.5, the world's favorite desktop Linux. Yeah, that's like when a realtor says, #1 realtor in a city, everyone's #1. No one's #2, everyone's #1. New, fun, and exciting desktop OS. Click and Run technology, world exclusive. Man, I miss this era of the world, dude. Back then, the world was exciting, dude. Everything was new, fun, and exciting. This is what the disc looked like. And of course, obviously, we're going to fire this up together, ladies and gentlemen, and experience this. I cannot believe the person who was behind this, the company behind this, just like literally never learned their lesson. But of course it's loading up. There. Oh, welcome to the Lindows OS. So here I put my password as 123. We're gonna hit the old login. What? Whoa! That was freaky. Okay. Boy. What was that startup music? You know, you got Windows XP that's like super relaxed and calm and everything, and then you got this shit where it's like, oof, 2 in the morning, already assaulted my ears. Your Lindows OS computer is ready to run. We recommend you click on the set time button. All right, I'll click on it. Okay, that's my time. Sure, we'll hit OK. Actually, whatever. I agree to the license, so I'm sure it can't be valid anymore. Whatever, dude. You know what? Yeah, finish. Let's go.
Welcome to the world of Lindows OS, a new, fun, and exciting operating system that delivers the power, stability, and cost savings of Linux with the ease of a Windows environment.
Take me to the real desktop. Jesus. All right, so first things first, let's actually try to configure the desktop. And of course, this is what the settings panel looks like over here. Now let's look at their wallpapers. I'm always a fan of what the wallpapers on these operating systems can look like. So we've got the Lindows Drop, which is just a teardrop. We've got the Lindows Laptop Edition, Lindows Sand. Oh, that looks crazy. Look at this one, dude. That looks ghetto as fuck. Somebody went out to the beach and wrote Lindows on the ground. All right, wait, they've got more stuff. They got downtown. Oh, shit. Let's look at the downtown. Okay, That's not bad. I mean, some of these are, I mean, there's no bangers like Windows XP Bliss so far, but I mean, that stands up. All right, let's actually try to do, let's try to get, what is test? Oh, it's just like, it's just like a resolution test. Look at that. It's just a resolution test. All right, let's actually go all the way up and just get the, let's get that drop, dude. I want to get the drop one. That looks like the banger one for me. All right, advanced, let's see. Background. Well, I'll give it right now. It's something that my grandparents could easily figure out, you know, if you gave a computer to them. So it's got support for 60 hertz. Okay, that's better than nothing. So far, I've got a 768 display. Can we go up to millions of colors potentially? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. All right, boys. So we've got the computer, which, again, this looks very close to Microsoft. I could imagine why Microsoft was a little bit angry about this because, yeah, on the surface level, it doesn't actually look like Linux. It actually feels a lot like, you know, just using Windows. So here's helpful hints from Jack Donaldson. All right, let's see this one, actually. Hey, the fact you're reading this tells me you're one smart cookie. Not because you found this letter, but because you decided to save hundreds of dollars by using Linux. Isn't Lindows fun? Dude, I wish engineers wrote this to me. Jesus Christ. We've tried to organize the Lindows file structure so it's easy to get around. Yeah, basically we just copied, like, Windows, okay? Like, because we know that's where you're coming from. Do they have any sample music? Oh, they do. They have a thank you. I gotta listen to this. Oh, that's crazy. Dude, no way. Dude, it feels like I whipped out the time capsule for this, man. It's so awesome. I love making these kind of videos. Like, they don't usually
Thank you
do
for
crazy
choosing
well
Lindows
sometimes
OS.
on the channel, but I love exploring old internet shit.
Thank you for choosing Lindows OS.
Oh, dude, that's so wholesome. You know, I actually want to side with them now. I might actually turn this into my daily driver. So they've got a network browser again. Again, all of this feels like it just is Linux. Like, it really just, it actually doesn't really even feel like I'm using Linux, for crying out loud. It does very much feel like I'm on Windows. And again, it's just KDE desktop, but this design they have is actually, it's well done. Like, honestly, if somebody just started using this, they may not even be able to tell, like, Windows or Lindows, you know, if it wasn't for the branding, right? So here you've got how to connect to the internet, and of course, like, I mean, dude, this makes me feel old. Like, they've got dial-up tools, AOL, Juno, Net Zero? Dude, we used to have Net Zero as kids. All right, they got a mail app, they got web browser, and they've got click and run. Okay, so they actually got like a web browser here, the Lindows Internet Suite. And obviously, it looks as old school internet as you can imagine. So obviously, if the internet works, you should be able to ping Google. And oh my God, this all just, it literally all feels like I'm using Windows XP even. So here's Google. And again, if you type in some ordinary gamers, you should be able to find me right here. Okay, that's me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's no way. There's no shot. I got to keep accepting like a million things here. Obviously, it's not like you can watch a video in this. It's like the web browser is just too old at this point to even do anything. And obviously going to lindows.com isn't really going to do much for you anyways. But yeah, it's got a fully functional web browser. And I'm sure you can obviously install like Firefox or something. I think I've literally crashed the web browser. We're going to leave that alone. I want to see what click and run kind of looks like too, because this is like the real piece de resistance in this situation. So this is supposed to be their special tool that allows you to quickly install Windows applications underneath this and have it run basically seamlessly, okay? Which, again, you can't connect to it because obviously the server doesn't function, it doesn't work anymore, but you should technically be able to use this on your own. Now, from what I understand, the basic version of this is totally free, but of course they had a support version and they had a more premium offering as well too. But unfortunately, I'm not able to actually use any of this myself. Like, it's not like I can add my own software and kind of call it a day. It really feels like a lot of what's available here is just through their service. And maybe they go through the extra efforts of making things work better. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to tell because I don't have access to their software. But of course, if you look down over here, they've got the Lindows button. So, oh my God. Dude, this literally is like, this is like, You take this to a court of law, and I don't even think it would pass the squint test. Like, it literally is just that. So here they've got software like the CD burner, the MP3 player, volume is, wait, there's no way, volume, oh my god! That's the fucking, wait, does that say porn? No, that's PCM. I thought there was like a dedicated porn section. Dude, this is just the Windows sound mixer. Oh my god, I would hate to be their lawyers. Oh my god, their lawyers must have like heart palpitations working them. So here they got Open Office, which was obviously the counter to, Microsoft Office. They've got basic, oh my god, even the calculators. They did not try at all. Like, literally, they did not try. I'm serious, they didn't do shit to change anything. This is very, oh my god, what is this Life Raft? Oh, it's like their help section. Getting help, 24-hour support, always on-call support. Okay, so they were very friendly. They knew people were going to come across issues, so they were just on point, ready to fix stuff. I want to see if the web page loaded up. No, the Internet Suite cannot handle my channel. It's too much. All right, let's go to games. They've got some games here. They've got Potato Guy. Oh my god, they've got a Dress 'em Up. No shot. No. Dude, this is insane. They've got to fucking Dress 'em Up. That's cute. All right, wait, go back. Do they have pinball? No, of course you copy Minesweeper. Wait, you're telling me that you're going to copy Windows, but you're not going to even make the pinball game copy? That is horseshit. But either they've got Tron. Okay, this thing's about to die. Oh, dude, the AI is easy. The AI is stupid. Oh, it's crazy. It's awesome. Okay, so that's the games right there. They got internet. So they've got SIP phone, which if you remember, SIP was like, I believe it was a phone protocol where you could like call people back in the day through the internet. So it was like internet to actual like landline. And of course, they've got desktop sharing. Allows you to invite somebody at a remote location to watch and possibly control your computer. Ah, the original team viewer. Dude, I feel old, man. Like I feel like I'm about to start collecting Social Security checks. I'm so old. Software development, utilities, network share. Okay, so they got the console. So they actually have like, here it is. They actually have like a Linux terminal. So you type in uname A. Ooh, this feels old. This feels vintage. This was compiled December 15, 2003, dog. Ooh, God, we are using a vintage piece of technology right here. Jesus Christ. But yeah, this is the Lindows experience, boys. If you happen to buy this and install this, you were a proud Lindows user, man. Jesus Christ. You look at the control panel. Like, this is the original control panel. Some of the designs, I think, are straight up copied right out of, like, Microsoft's Windows XP. But yeah, this is the experience, man. This is what it came down to. So, of course, this is Lindows version 4.5.122. And yeah, and from what I understand, this might actually be the last version of it before the lawsuit forced them to change their name to Linspire, which, again, dropped the whole branding, if you will, too. Now, obviously, I think it's safe to say, like, this is definitely a grifty product made to profit off of, making a Windows alternative with very little effort. And the effort that does exist is mostly there for support stuff. And obviously, they bundle in things like Wine right from the get-go. So, somebody who installs this thinking it's like Windows actually has like somewhat of a, I guess, palatable experience. But other than that, like, there's not much more to this, It is what it is. Could you game under this? You could game under this about as well as any other similar Linux distribution out there. It's not like they did anything crazy off the top. I will say, out of any distribution I've used, this is probably the cleaner looking interface, right? The cleaner looking system. So actually quite cool. Now, obviously, I think it's, wait, should we just shut this down? Let's shut this down real quick. Let's see what it looks like. Shut down. Okay. Well, we have to play the Bollywood oh my god. Oh, dude, that's what it looks like when you're shutting down? Dog, do not use this operating system at night. It's going to flashbang you. Shut down complete. It is now safe to turn off your computer. Oh, I feel old. Now, obviously, this is FreeSpire, and this is FreeSpire 10. Now, this isn't anything special, clearly, because it's just, again, Linux with GNOME as the actual, like, system. And it's nothing, again, special. At the end of the day, Linspire ended up just dropping down, or for Windows, ended up basically turning into your average Linux distribution. And except in this case, it's not even properly updated and supported. So yeah, this is actually the end of a goddamn era. This is from a time where a company challenged Microsoft, got 20 million, but again, it's all spearheaded by one CEO that just wanted to take on the entire big business industry and somehow had the most insane amounts of cockroach luck that they ended up surviving all of this. Crazy history, man. Crazy shit. But yeah, I'm glad I experienced it. I really feel like I got to experience my childhood again, to be honest with you. But yeah, before I start feeling like the Crypt Keeper, I'm going to end the video off right here. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.